Hey guys, I'm your host D-Round419, and today I want to talk about gatekeeping. Um, the reason why I'm getting into the gatekeeping talk is because one of the guys I watch uh, made a video about it, and the YouTube channel and everyone else's channel will be involved who were in that live stream is Genuine Comics, and is owned by Dave Brink, and usually his co-hosts are Marinus, or AKA Darkside is Comics, and Roland. And so they had this debate about gatekeeping, and I took some notes on what caught my attention, and let's dive right into it. So there is a difference between gatekeeping and just being malicious. Good gatekeeping is basically you want to preserve the the community, you want to preserve the contents of what has been established with regarding books, movies, comics, etc. And I think I could say that with confidence about all fans, good, the fans who actually care about such things, that they want to preserve it. They don't want things to be becoming a counter to what they know and then having a problem. Um, I do believe that, of course, through time, things will evolve, but it will evolve in the right direction instead of being forced upon, like the diversity and quotas and all that nonsense. So that's what I think with good gatekeeping is that you want to keep the bad actors out who want to change it up, who want to subvert expectations and just that programming. So when it comes down to the bad gatekeeping, obviously these are the people who infiltrate, infest the community, start accusing actual fans of being racist, misogynist, blah blah blah, kick them out, take control, and then they turn the things that we love into something we hate, and they're just making up things on the fly without even caring about the lore of a story, and just putting propaganda basically. They they gatekeep people who don't align with their uh, delusion. Let's just say that they don't align with their delusion. They gatekeep those people out because uh, they have control of the fortress basically, and it usually breeds a hostile environment. Now I know that all fandoms are not picture perfect. Or not, you're always going to have your crazies, but when you look at things like Doctor Who and Lord of the Rings, Doctor Who used to be respectable. Well, in my opinion, it used to be a respectable show and community, but now it's turned into just something that I don't recognize anymore. I haven't watched Doctor Who since Peter Capaldi was the Doctor, and I didn't really last that long because I didn't realize it at the time, but I saw that the writing was weak, and I really wasn't feeling it. Like, I like Peter Capaldi, Capaldi's Doctor, but just the writing was so weak. But after his run with the doc being a doctor ended, and they brought in the Whittaker, yeah, Whittaker, the lady named Whittaker something, it just went downhill, and I've been hearing nothing but bad stuff constantly. Now you look into Lord of the Rings. I don't know much about that community, but I know that they really, really love. They like to be accurate as much as they can with the lore. And these guys are, I guess, either famous or infamous for just being strict with that stuff. That's what I've heard. And they're raising hell right now because of Amazon's Lord of the Rings, where Amazon is changing up characters or bringing in stuff that shouldn't even be in the stuff in Lord of the Rings, and it's not going over too well. And I think they are trying to make it canon, so that's what's making the community even more angry, is because just the decisions that they don't really care. And when it comes, and I think about when it comes to my stuff, I definitely want my stuff to be gate kept. I don't want people to be ousted from. I don't want myself to be ousted from my own the own stuff that I made. I mean, look at Star Wars. George Lucas basically got ousted from his own stuff, even though he sold it. He sold the IP. He basically is still ousted from things that he say. He may say like, oh yeah, I can have some say in it, but ultimately he can't make the decision. He can only make suggestions. We're talking about a livelihood. How people make money off their own creations, and then when you start alienating the fans and you start attacking them, that's no good. That's just gonna make an IP just lose its value instantly. Well, I want to say instantly, but it'd be a steady decline. And so far we've seen Doctor Who, Star Wars, Marvel movie. Well, yeah, Marvel, I would say some DC stuff too. I mean, I don't know where this attitude is coming from, where these vile people just want to wreak havoc on things that people love. But gatekeeping is necessary. Always will. I think it always will be necessary. We want to, you want to add in new people. You want to have new members, new fans, and all that. But always be vigilant about those who will try to do harm to the community in some way, shape, or form. But this leads to my next point, where they talked about Japanese entertainment and Western. And Japanese entertainment, we know, if you've been paying attention, is doing a hell of a lot better than Western entertainment. Mainly the manga and anime. I'm not sure about reality TV shows. I'm not sure about that, but manga and anime are definitely killing the comic book and cartoon side of things for the Western audience. And they can't compete. There's no contest, because one, they don't add in the propaganda and all the diversity bull crap. They focus on telling the story. They focus on creating good character arcs if they can. Good arcs in general. And this is the problem that we're seeing with just the westernization. The Western entertainment is that they focus more on characters, but on a sense that it just doesn't make sense. Where they're more focused on the skin color. It's basically the Depression Olympics with the Western entertainment, with these comic books. It's just, you have these characters who just all of a sudden, like, they know what to do, even though they haven't really been taught, or they were not really alluded to, being taught by someone. They just learn by themselves. There's nothing wrong with that, but you can't just be like, I can't think of the name, a Mary Sue. You just can't be a Mary Sue, So they had to have learned from trial and error. If they're learning by themselves, or they have a mentor. There's something. They can't just like all of a sudden know how to do this and that. And I was watching a gameplay of Call of Duty Vanguard just to see how the campaign is. I'm more of a campaign guy, but I was rolling my eye. I'm sorry, I'm sorry, guys. I'm rolling my eyes at just some scenes in the first part of the gameplay, where you have the team is made up of a Russian lady, I think a French lady, and three guys, and one of the guys is a black guy, and he's the leader or supposed leader, and there's a scene, this one of the early scenes where they're caught by the Nazis, well, a Nazi general and some of his Nazi subordinates or whatever, and he's in Nazi, the general, he's like he can basically tell where each person's from based on their accent. And then he gets to the black guy, and I'm already thinking like, oh great, let me guess, he's gonna call this guy that, a Negro or whatever. And sure enough, he calls him a Negro, and like the black guy knows how to speak like different language. I don't know how many languages, but so far he knows how to speak Russian, German, and English. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, I'm like, oh God, is he a token character? Is this the, like, I'm not. It's so bad that you can just predict the things because they're easily, you know exactly where the route's going to be going to, and that's not good. That further, just doesn't even let me. I can't even get into the story when I'm able to predict things because I see, it's so obvious. And that's one of the elements that's basically leading with Japanese entertainment to be crushing the Western entertainment, is that the story it kind of keeps you guessing. It's not trying to be a convoluted mess. It's not trying to, usually it's not trying to be like that. But when it is, when it's meant to, it's pulled off better. You'd be genuinely surprised. It'll make you think one thing, and then next thing you know, like, no, you're completely wrong. It's just the direction of storytelling that matters. And if you can't tell a good story, well, you're gonna, stuff, it's not gonna work out well. And with the recent revelation, well, we kind of knew this was a problem, but now it's being amplified because of the localization teams, basically the middlemen for translating Japanese manga and anime into English dub or English sub. That's getting a lot of people angry because they want the original product, and I know for certain I want the original. I want things to be original, how they were originally said or written. I don't want to have this substitute where it just takes things out of context completely. And we've seen this happen with Dragon Maid. Dragon Maid and I can't pronounce the word. Evangelion. I can, in Dragon Maid, there was a scene where one of the dragon girls, I can't remember her name, but I know the look. She's like Kazo Koto or something like that, where she's supposed to be talking about like the clothes are kind of like big on her or something, but in the English dub they changed the whole thing to like the pesky patriarchy. I'm like, what like that shit like that shouldn't be in there. Or in Evangelion or Jellion, however you pronounce it, there was supposed to be a scene, in spoiler, there was supposed to be a scene where I think there's a guy who actually likes the main character, like literally in love with the main character, but they changed it in the Netflix adaptation of it. Next Netflix version is saying it means I like you instead of saying it means I love you. You know, context is key with story, especially when you have localizers changing stuff up just because they can. And of course, you have the sensibility readers as well, and that's another strike. All this is pointing more towards this is why you should be more focused on direct to consumer instead of like exporting from a publisher then to the middleman then to the customer. So and I think the final point with this is Roland, he mentioned that people are soft today than they were before, and of course the technology they didn't have back in the past. Internet wasn't really booming how it is now, and social media and all that. But I guess it also plays a factor into the whole thing because you have these weirdos constantly complaining. They're complaining the loudest, and they're making corporates think that, oh man, there's a large number of these guys, they don't like the product because the female character is too sexy, or they need or some guy, there's not a lot of representation with black people or whatever, so we're gonna do this, we're gonna listen to them instead of the actual people who are paying money to watch or read what we're producing. So it's basically just, it's like this battle on the hill, King of the Hill, not the show, but it's this battle of the hill where the genuine fans, and then you got, I guess I say the fake fans, are trying to have control. But I think we reached a point where actual fans don't care. They're not caring anymore, and they're like, fine, you know what? It's not worth it. I'm not giving you the money. That's the way how I'm gonna, that's the only way I can see I'm gonna win this. I'm not gonna give you the money. But even then, when you have apathy set in, you just you're done with it. You cut ties with it entirely, and you're off to something more that's usually better. And I think that's why we're seeing with the rise of the indie creators that the AAA, the mainstream people are just, they're going crazy as well. You got people in Bungie saying, talking about reproductive rights, or I think it was Bungie, either Bungie or Blizzard or one of the usual suspects, and they're getting political, and it's like, man, your one job is to entertain, and you can't even do your one job. I'm all for these guys shooting themselves in the foot, because they have shown to us time and time again that they don't care about the real fans, and they will try to exploit as many people as they can to get more money while pushing a shit product. And in turn, you got these fake fans who are gatekeeping the real fans out, and we're like, fine, you can have it. We're done with it. I'll go on to something better. So the whole debate with gatekeeping is necessary. Gatekeeping is necessary if you're doing it right. That's good gatekeeping, because I'm just tired of seeing creation, hobbies literally become political, and now it become fun. And some hobbies have politics in it, but that's only because the hobby was centered around politics. You know, you have stuff like that. But when it's just forced upon people, and there's like this regime against people who just want to enjoy what they like, and they can't enjoy it because it's viewed as some sin or whatever, then that's when the major problem sets in. And I know I'm probably repeating myself here, but this is why I'm making my own stuff, why I'm supporting other people who are making their own stuff. I'm tired of giving these mainstream people my money. They don't really and I understand they don't have to love me, but if there's no respect, then don't expect me to give you money. If you don't have respect for your customer, or you're just not being fair, you lose me as a fan and a customer. I'm not gonna just blindly give you guys money, and that's how other people are like too. They're waking up. They're like, I'm not gonna give you my hard-earned money. Just and you can constantly call me a bigot or fascist or whatever. This is what we need. This is what needs to happen. And for the people who who keep supporting these guys, and they're now they're saying like, oh, I don't really care about gatekeeping. Well, I do hate to say it, and I'm not attacking anybody, but I do hate to say it, that that's part of the problem as well, because they're destroying things you love right in front of you, and then one day you're gonna wake up and you're gonna be like, man, what happened? That's a sad reality right there. I wish this craziness wasn't happening, but at the same time, I kind of am grateful, because it opened my eyes and it gave me the determination to try and create my own stuff. And I met some new people along the way. So I hope that for the people who are paying attention, I hope you guys find something better to replace the old stuff, and that actually has value, and you have fun with it, and just you can enjoy it and however you want to, because I don't know. I think I kind of got off topic a little bit, but it is fine. But anyway, I'm gonna link the video in the description or somewhere somehow, and I'm gonna include the channel, the channels of the people who are involved. So until next time, guys, see ya.